missing someone.
Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming the Vogue 73 questions, I guess sort of a tag. I saw Fabulous Hannah do it yesterday and I just thought it was such a good idea. It lets you get to know me a bit better and it's just a really chilled video to film during lockdown. I'm really sorry I've been gone for the past couple of weeks. I have just been feeling so uninspired and I didn't want to film anything and upload it, which I wasn't proud of, so I thought I'd take the time off to help me gather some more ideas. And yeah, I'm really excited to be back, so without further rambling, as we all know I can do that very, very well, let's get started with the questions. So question one is, what's your favourite time of the day? And my favourite time of the day probably is more like late morning. I'm not the biggest morning person. I'm way more than I used to be. I used to I wouldn't see the morning. Like I literally wake up at 11:30. However, I have recently, since lockdown, I've made it sort of my goal to at least wake up before like 9:30 every day. I try to wake up before 9. However, Sundays that doesn't really go to plan. However, today I woke up at 7:30, which is just not like me, but I really enjoyed it. Like I didn't do anything. Like I just sat in the spare room and watched Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again, as it's recently been put on Netflix. Highly recommend if you haven't seen it, but I'm sure you all have. It was just really nice, like time on my own, because obviously my mum goes to work at about that time. My boyfriend's still asleep and we're the only ones in the house, so like, I just have an hour or so to myself and it was really nice and I really enjoyed it. What's your biggest weakness? And I'd say my biggest weakness is, although in some cases, which I will explain, it can help, but obviously I would have to say my anxiety. It really does hinder so many different things. For example, like I have really bad anxiety even doing things on my own, so even if it was like a family gathering, if like someone, like my dad's not going or my boyfriend's not going, I find it really hard to go. I know that sounds really silly, but it's just little things, even the simplest things, answering the phone, that's something I find really awkward to do. But that, I would say that's my biggest weakness. Obviously there's probably a lot more I could go into detail, but that's always the one that always sticks out in my mind when I think of like the biggest weakness of mine. What is your biggest strength? And obviously it's really hard to think of a strength because as human beings we always put ourselves down, which is really sad. But I'd say my biggest strength probably is my kindness. I know that sounds really like cocky or arrogant, but I'd say I'm quite a kind person. Like I like to think I am anyway. I find it hard to like meet up with friends. I know that sounds really silly, but that's something my anxiety also like takes over. But I like to think that if my friend has an issue, I'd always be there to talk to them and help them as best as I can. So yeah, I'd probably say my kindness. What's the biggest learning experience you've had? And oh my gosh, that's hard. I'd say overcoming my anxiety. Obviously it's a long journey and I've not overcome it fully, but compared to where I was this time a year ago, like honestly I'm a different person. Like I couldn't even stay in my house on my own. I would just feel I'd hate it, whereas now I can literally spend the day on my own. I can go into university, which I took so much time off college, my attendance is awful, and just doing like daily tasks, which I found really hard this time last year. So yeah, I'd say that's my biggest thing I've overcome. What's your idea of a perfect day? And I know this is really boring, but I'm just not a like nighttime person. Like I way prefer the idea of being at home with a takeaway in a movie than like going out somewhere for the evening. So I definitely say probably like get a takeaway. If it's my choice, probably like Indian. Watching a film or a good series. I really want to watch that Jeffrey Epstein one. I love like all things like true crime and like I love documentaries, so watching a good series or film and a good takeaway. What's one vice you wish you could give up? And I know I sound dumb, I don't really know what that means. I'm guessing like one trait of yours you wish you could give up. I don't know, I'll ignore that one because I probably will answer it wrong. What's a cause that is important to you? And I'd say something like, my nan has always had arthritis, and that, I think that's a really hard one because obviously you can't see it. It's not like she's in like her legs like gone, or like my nan's not in a wheelchair all the time, so like she just walks very slow, and it's always, I find it really hard because some people get like really annoyed in town because they think she's just like walking slow for the sake of it. And I wish people there was more insight on that, because we did it in my health and social care course and barely anyone knew what rheumatoid arthritis was. The same with like panic disorder, because I know anxiety is very, very highly spoken about. However, I feel like panic disorder sort of goes under the radar a little bit. And as you probably know, I suffer with that, not as much as I used to. However, I still do have it, and people don't understand when you're in the moment that you can't just snap out of it, and you can't, it's really hard to control, and it is scary. Like from an outside view, like if you don't understand, it would look like you're sort of over exaggerating, and it's really hard because it's no one's fault. Like no one's like, I don't know how to put it into words, but I just wish there was a bit more like knowledge on that. What's the biggest compliment you've ever received? And I've just been sat here thinking about that, because obviously I've got curly hair and I feel like people always say, oh, I wish I had your hair and stuff like that. But I feel like that's such a basic thing to say, and there's nothing really like, I don't know, nothing really special. Like it's nothing really about me as a person. How like strong I am, because obviously I keep mentioning this and I'm really sorry to keep blabbering on about it, but I did have a really tough year last year, and I was in such a dark place mentally that I was so down, and I've pretty much overcome it, and I've had a lot of compliments saying how like strong I am and how brave I am and stuff, so that's obviously means a lot. And at the time when I hear it, I'm like, oh no, I'm not, like, I can't, yeah, you know what I mean, like I don't take it in. Whereas now, like looking back on those compliments, like I think they're one of the main reasons how I got through it. When are you most inspired? And I have two things which I have like my main work towards. Obviously YouTube is an unpaid work, so is university, but there's two sort of like big things in my life at the moment. And with university, obviously, when I have like, sometimes you have like inspirational talkers in, or like we have people that come in from different like practices, so we might have like a teacher come in, health social care, we had a lot of like nurses and stuff. And as you probably know, I want to work with children when I'm older, so when we have like a teacher come in, or like a Senko or something like that, I find that so inspiring, and it really solidifies that I know what I want to do. As with YouTube, watching content which I know I'm going to love to do, for example, this video I got a fabulous Hannah, so that she really inspired me to like make this content. And I think that's a really nice thing about YouTube, how I don't see it as copying, I see it as taking inspiration. Sweet or savoury? And I would probably say savoury. Don't get me wrong, I love sweet things, but I have a limit to sweet things. I don't like too sweet of things. Like I don't like triple chocolate, blah blah blah. I find it just a bit too rich and sickly. Whereas savoury, I could literally eat through like a box of cheese twists or cocktail sausages, or like literally I just love savoury food. Olives. What song can you listen to on repeat? I'd probably say something from One Direction. Be that, Kiss You, just like One Direction. I don't think I have one song from them, but as you know, I am a diehard One Direction fan, and I have been for years. What makes you smile the most? And this sounds so cheesy, but it probably has to be my boyfriend, because I spend the most time with him and he is just hilarious. And I wish people who know in person could see this more, because he is so introverted that if you don't know him very well, he comes across so shy, whereas if you get to know him, you'll know that he is such a character and he's got such a great sense of humour. What's one thing people don't know about you? And I feel like I have mentioned this, but I am an only child, and I do feel like that's quite a rare thing. Like I can't think of any of my friends off the top of my head that don't have siblings. Obviously there are some, but I can't think of any off the top of my head that don't have siblings, so I feel like that's quite a rarity. Heels or flats? And flats any day of the week. People that just wear heels, like my mum wears heels practically every day to work, and like I take my hat off to her, like I could not do that. It's so uncomfortable. I'm such like a trainer girl, like I literally wear my Nike Air Forces to death. They've got holes in them. I really need to purchase a new pair, but they're so expensive. I don't know why trainers are quite so expensive. Vintage or new? And I really wish I was a vintage girl. Like I love people's style when they're more like vintagey, like Love Evie and Olivia Grace, I think that's what her name is. Their styles is so cool, and I know they do a lot of like thrift shopping, same with Diane Buswell, and they just look so cool. Whereas whenever I go into a charity shop, especially the ones down here, I don't know if you're watching this from my area and you feel the same, but we don't have any decent charity shops. So I'd have to go with new. I need a drink. What are 3 things you can't live without? Obviously I'm going to say the generic ones: friends and family, support system, and like you physically. I just don't think I could be here without them, especially through what I've been through. Really like materialistic thing, but probably my laptop. I'd say my laptop over my phone, purely because I do all my like uni work on here, and in order to go into my uni work I need a laptop, so I'd say my laptop. And with editing, I just feel like my laptop's brilliant. I can't think of another thing. I'm sure there is one, and I'm sure people are like screaming at me saying, why aren't you thinking of that? But off the top of my head, that's the only things I can think of. Window or aisle seat? And I know this is probably quite a controversial one, but I say aisle seat. I know lots of people like window ones. In trains, I'm more of a window girl. Hashtag window girl. However, airplanes, I've got a big fear of airplanes, so I don't like to think, whereas if you're in a middle seat, I don't notice myself being in the air so much. I know that sounds really silly, but when you're on the window seat, obviously you can see outside. So window seat for trains, but I also for aeroplanes. What's your current TV character of choice? And so at the moment I'm watching Outnumbered, and I just think Karen, who's the little girl, is hilarious. Like, she's so, I love that show, because especially the first, I think it's 1, 2 and 3 series when they're really little. I think that's the best, because obviously it's so natural. Like, you can't really script kids, and I think I've read somewhere that the way they did it is they literally give the children little lines to learn just before they start filming, and if the children went off topic, the adults had to like improvise, which is so cool. I just thought it was such a cool idea. Leather or lace? Some of these questions are weird. The ones I don't understand, I'm just gonna skip past. What's the most adventurous thing you've done in your life? And oh my gosh, I'm such a vanilla person. Like, there's probably nothing. I just can't think of anything. I'm so vanilla. How would you define yourself in 3 words? I'd say emotional. I'd say kind, like kind, caring, and I'd say determined. Like, I always put myself down. Like, for example, my driving practical test, I had no faith in myself passing that first time. Like, I hadn't had a proper lesson in about 6 months. So when I booked in for my test, I was like, why am I doing this? Like, I feel like I was rushing it in a little bit. My friends and family all saying, come on Emily, you will pass it first time. And I get that a lot of times. Like, I put myself down so much, and I put so much pressure on myself that I do pass. I do this every time. So I'd say determined, emotional, kind. What's your current favourite piece of clothing you own? And like, I feel like this is the same with anyone, but like trekkie bottoms, I wear them every single day. Like, I wear jeans on the rare occasion. I've probably worn them 3 times in the past like 3 months. So definitely joggers. Currently got some baby pink ones on. Actually, these are in my Pretty Little Thing, or you probably recognise these clothes. But yeah, definitely joggers. What's a must-have clothing item everyone should have? I'm gonna say 2. I'd say either oversized t-shirts, because you can wear them like slouch, you can tuck them in, you can tie them up, they're quite like universal. And I'd say like a denim jacket. I was gonna say trackies, but I thought of that one just now. I think a denim jacket, another thing which just goes with everything. You can dress it up, you can dress it down. It's just so casual. So I'd say oversized t-shirts and denim jacket. What's inspiring you in life right now? And I'd say my grandparents. I know I just sound so boring, don't I? But definitely my grandparents. I'm not gonna go into too much detail at the moment, but they're both going through quite a tough time. They've been together for over 50 years. I think it's coming up to more like 55 years. So like amazing. They're just so cute, and they're just so strong together. Like, they're like the backbone to our family. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received? And I've heard this a lot recently, especially, but don't let what people say to you affect you if they're not the people you take advice from, something like that. But I think it's so important. Like, you shouldn't let little sly hate comments from people you don't really know affect you, because at the end of the day, you don't know them, they don't know you, and it's just, yeah, I think that's so important. What's your pet peeve? And my pet peeve is, I've got a few. I'd say people that like take up the whole pavement, like especially if they're going like slow, or like they're chatting, or they're moving around a lot. It's just so annoying if you're trying to get past someone. Nothing, I would say like the classic chewing with your mouth open, or like chomping on your food. Like, no thank you. But yeah, they're the 2 main ones. Diamonds or pearls? And I'm not really like a jewelry type of person. I've got probably diamonds, because I've got a Swarovski, that's a crystal actually, but probably diamonds, just think they're more my aesthetic. What's your biggest regret? Personally, I don't really believe in regret. It's like, I feel like everything happens for a reason, and even if there is something in the past which you don't necessarily like, or you're not necessarily proud of, you learn from that, and you know that you wouldn't do it again. So I really try to live with no regrets. So I wouldn't say I've got one. What's heavily played on your music playlist right now? And there's a toss-up between, I'd say, Post Malone and Billie Eilish. I was meant to be seeing Post Malone yesterday, and I'm meant to be seeing Billie Eilish at the end of the month. Well, obviously that's not happening because of Corona time. Ew. But yeah, I really like those 2. They're 2 of my favourite artists. If you follow me on Instagram, I recently did like an Instagram Q&A, which I loved. If you want me to do like a YouTube Q&A or more Instagram Q&As, then please follow me on Instagram, so you can find out what I'm going to be filming, or if I'm doing another Instagram Q&A, I'll leave it on the screen somewhere, and it'll be in the description as usual. What's your favourite board game? And I'm such a board game girl. Like, we always play them after dinner, and I'd say my favourite is either Sequence, Rummy Cub, or Cranium. For 3 of my favourite games. I really recommend them. We love them as a family. What's your guilty pleasure? Biscuits. I could literally sit and eat through packets upon packets of biscuits of a night time. So bad. Like, it's got to the point where we can't have them in the house, because I will literally just scoff the whole packet, especially fruit shortcakes. So good. Foxes, like the cream ones. What book did you recently finish reading? And I literally haven't finished a book in years. I am so slow at reading, which I feel like is the main reason why I don't read. and I just find it really hard to absorb books. I don't know if that's silly, but I find it so much easier to like watch something because I feel like it goes in. Whereas when I read, I'm just like reading it, but nothing's going in. So like, I really want to get into reading, but I'm just no good at it. What are you currently reading? I have got a book on my bedside table here, and it's called We Were Liars by Emily Lockhart. I saw Beauty Spectrum Molly recommend this in a video a little while back, so I thought I'd give it a go, but it's quite a tricky read. Like, if you're like me and you're not great at reading, then I probably wouldn't recommend that one. I'm really trying to find some like easy read. Like, I've always heard that like teen fiction books are the best for that. I know I'm like getting a bit old for that now, but I've always heard, I think it was always Zoella saying that she still reads them because they're so simple and like really well worded. So I might try one of them. And I'm going to end on this question, but I'll pick it up in my next video. I don't know when I'm going to be uploading that, but I'll pick that up soon. How do you start your day? And I start my day usually by sitting in the other room scrolling through my phone. Then I will go and get my breakfast and a coffee, and then I'll do a workout, have my protein shake, get showered and dressed, and that's like sort of my routine in the morning. That's the end of part 1 of this video. If I do another half, literally it's going to be about an hour-long video. Thought I'd do it in 2 parts. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe down below, and I will see you all in part 2. Bye.